Did you know that Italy was once the world capital of cinematic censorship, with the government and the church banning over 3,000 films between 1944 and 1962 alone? While Italian cinema is celebrated for its beauty, it has a dark, rebellious history of pushing political, religious, and sexual boundaries so far that film reels were often seized by police right out of the projectors. From video nasties to political satires buried for decades, these 10 banned masterpieces are the ones they didn't want you to see. Number 1. Salo, or the 120 Days of Sodom, 1975. A film so disturbing that its director was murdered in a brutal, unexplained mystery shortly before its release. Pier Paolo Pasolini's final work is widely considered the most controversial movie ever made. Set during the puppet Nazi regime in northern Italy, 4 wealthy libertines kidnap a group of beautiful teenagers to subject them to 120 days of unimaginable physical and psychological torture. It isn't just horror, it is a savage, metaphorical middle finger to consumerism and the corruption of power. Banned for decades in dozens of countries, it remains a cinematic black hole that stares back at you. Number 2. Cannibal Holocaust, 1980. The director was arrested for murder because the special effects were so realistic the government thought it was a snuff film. Ruggero Deodato invented the found footage genre with this terrifying descent into the Amazon. When a rescue team finds the lost footage of a missing documentary crew, they discover a descent into madness and tribal violence. The realism was so convincing that Deodato had to bring his dead actors onto a live TV show to prove they hadn't actually been eaten. Because of extreme gore and real animal cruelty, it was banned in over 50 countries, becoming the ultimate forbidden fruit of horror. Number 3. Last Tango in Paris, 1972, a masterpiece that led to the director and stars being stripped of their civil rights and sentenced to prison in Italy. Bernardo Bertolucci's raw, carnal drama starring Marlon Brando was a global earthquake. The story of a grieving middle-aged American and a young Frenchwoman who starred an anonymous, purely sexual relationship in a bare apartment was deemed obscene by the Italian Supreme Court. They ordered every copy of the film to be destroyed. It took 15 years for the ban to be lifted, leaving behind a legacy of a film that was literally illegal to own or watch. Number 4. The Last Temptation of Christ, 1988. The premiere sparked firebombings and riots, creating a permanent rift with the Vatican that lasts to this day. Though directed by Martin Scorsese, the Italian reception of this film was a war zone. It depicts a Jesus who struggles with human fear, doubt, and, most controversially, lust. Religious groups in Italy were so incensed by a dream sequence involving Mary Magdalene that they attacked theaters and successfully lobbied for the film to be suppressed. It remains a fascinating banned look at the humanity of a divine figure that the authorities found too dangerous for the masses. Number 5. Illustrious Corpses, 1976. A political thriller so accurate in its depiction of government corruption that it was unofficially erased from history. Directed by Francesco Rosi, this film follows a detective investigating a string of murders targeting high-ranking judges. As he pulls the thread, he uncovers a conspiracy that leads directly to the heart of the Italian state. Released during the Years of Lead, a time of real-life political terrorism, the government saw it as a blueprint for revolution. It was quietly pulled from circulation and suppressed for years to prevent public panic. Number 6. The 1000 Eyes of Dr. Mabuse, 1960. A thriller that faced a total ban for showing the secret police methods used by the elite to control the public. This co-production features a criminal mastermind using high-tech surveillance to manipulate society. Italian censors were terrified by the film's depiction of how easily a population can be spied on and controlled. They demanded massive cuts to the subversive sequences, making the original uncut version a missed treasure. It's a chillingly prophetic look at the surveillance state that was deemed too educational for the average citizen to see. Number 7. Todomodo, 1976. A movie so toxic to the ruling political party that it disappeared from Italian television for over 20 years. This film is a vicious satire of the Christian Democracy Party, showing the nation's leaders gathering at a retreat to purge their sins, only to be picked off one by an assassin. Following the real-life kidnapping and murder of politician Aldo Moro, the film was viewed as a curse. It was pulled from theaters and effectively erased from public memory until the late 1990s, making it a true ghost of Italian cinema. Number 8. Woman in the Dunes, an international masterpiece that Italian censors tried to re-edit into a completely different, safer movie. When this Japanese avant-garde film arrived in Italy, The censors panicked over its intense eroticism and existential dread. They demanded so many cuts that the Italian version was unrecognizable. The uncut original was illegal to show in Italy for years. It tells the story of a man trapped in a sandpit with a woman, forced into a life of manual labor and strange, claustrophobic intimacy that the state found mentally damaging. Number 9. Blow Up, 1966. Michelangelo Antonioni's masterpiece was seized by police in several Italian cities for public indecency, despite being a global hit. Set in London but directed by an Italian icon, Blow Up follows a fashion photographer who thinks he's accidentally photographed a murder. Despite winning the Palme d'Or at Cannes, Italian authorities targeted the film's counterculture lifestyle and nudity. In several major cities, the film was banned outright or seized by local magistrates, turning a high art mystery into a forbidden underground sensation. Number 10. Rocco and His Brothers, 1960. A brutal scene of sexual violence was so controversial that the film was banned in Milan, the very city where it was filmed. Luchino Visconti's epic drama about a family moving from the poor South to the industrial North is a pillar of neorealism. However, a brutal scene involving a rape and murder led to a massive legal war. Censors demanded the film be seized, and Visconti fought for years to keep his vision intact. For decades, Italian audiences were only allowed to see a heavily sanitized version of this legendary classic. Which of these forbidden films are you brave enough to track down? If you enjoyed this journey through the secret censored history of cinema, please like, share, and subscribe to help us keep these stories alive. See you in the next deep dive.